Hey y'all, it's Elisha and welcome back to the Hoplop. You're going to be able to tell what time of day I filmed each of these because when there's my coffee maker beep beep beeping, isn't that ever normal here on the Hoplop? Folks, you're going to be able to tell because I filmed a series of these short videos early in the morning and then I have a wardrobe change at some point. So you're going to be able to tell that. It's pretty funny when I think about it. But this video is very specifically about crafting with my ghouls. And thank you to Susan Tootsie Tucker. First of all, y'all know that we had an overwhelming response to our Halloween hop. And I was heartbroken, y'all, because we had so many people that wanted to participate. And we just didn't have space. And I always feel badly. I mean, Crafty Michelle's had this happen. And it's like, how do you say no to over 30 people? It really was that much of an overwhelming response. And then, so Susan Tootsie Tucker, I always say this to you about Susan. If she was not a good friend of mine, y'all, I would say the same thing about Susan. She is so community oriented and so generous of spirit, not just moral, as I told you all in a video last week, but just generous of spirit and cares so much about the community that she gave up her spot on the collab and took on a whole other collab to give more participants a chance to do this. And that was generous of her because, you know, running a collab, y'all, doesn't really benefit. I know people think that it benefits the channel that's hosting. It actually much more benefits the people participating. You do it because you want to give people in the community a chance to highlight their amazing projects and for other people to get to know their channels better. So it's really a way of offering more support to other people in the community. So Susan gave up her spot on my collab in order to take over and run another. And by the way, whenever you run a collab, it also means that you put angels in place because things happen legitly. B&D Brian unfortunately lost his pet right as the collab was starting on Susan's. And Susan had to call in an angel. And sometimes, y'all, the angel has an emergency and then you have to cover the project. I remember last year I had to cover off a project during a collab. So it's a lot of responsibility. And yet Susan right away volunteered and took it on. So I just want to say special recognition to Susan Tootsie Tucker, who always is willing to help out the community, not just by doing tutorials, but by doing things like hosting collabs like this one and helping us out because we had such overwhelming response and not enough spots. Again, I'm going to tell you the reason for that is a successful collab is a smaller collab, y'all. Ideally, it really is 6 to 10 people. I went a little bit over just because my heart was breaking. We had so many people who wanted to participate. But typically 6 to 10 is your sweet spot for a collab. For those of you who are just starting to learn how to host collabs, those of us who have done many now will tell you it's too much for the audience to have to watch more than that. And when you're doing a giveaway like I'm doing today, you can't ask people to watch so many videos. Notice I didn't have people watch for the whole collaboration, just today's videos for the giveaway, because it's too much, y'all. It's, for people who are working. And right now we have a situation with COVID where people are working, they're homeschooling, they're getting ready to homeschool. If we thought we were busy before COVID, we're way busier now. And here's something we never talk about, y'all. We have way more house cleaning to do than before because we're not used to spending 24/7 in our homes, which means our homes are getting messier. So all of this has created more work for us during COVID. So funny, we always think, oh, we have more time during COVID. I think we have less. I certainly have more house cleaning and more laundry to do. And I don't even have kids at home. If I had kids at home, I'd be nonstop cleaning up after my kids and doing so much laundry. So again, for someone to take this on, just was amazing. So thank you. The other thing I want to share with you is, and I said this to Susan, have you all gone and taken a look at last week's projects that Crafting with My Ghouls did? I have to tell you, I was absolutely inspired by each and every project. I couldn't believe the projects that came out of Crafting with My Ghouls last week. I just couldn't believe it. I actually suggested to Susan she do some kind of movie reel because I think each and every project was so unique and so innovative. And when we're coming into Halloween crafting season, wouldn't it be great to have a reel so that when you're looking for projects to try, you can reference that reel and maybe get some inspiration for your own projects. So I am listing all the participants in Crafting with My Ghouls down below, and I'd like you to take a moment today to go and check out their amazing projects. Also take a minute to thank Susan Tussie Tucker. She is truly an amazing member of our craft community, such an asset. And, she constantly gives us tutorials, which is a gift. That's a way of giving to the community, y'all, is by teaching people how to do things. And Susan is constantly doing that. She is constantly responsive to people saying, how do you emboss? How do you do this? And she just quickly comes on and shows you in a very a kind of no nonsense way. I love her tutorials. They're never complicated. They're easy to follow. So she's a really wonderful member of our community. So make sure that you take a second to thank her for all she does, because we never want people to feel like they're underappreciated. And I certainly, for one, appreciate Susan, not just as a friend, but as someone who cares a lot about community here on YouTube. And also take a minute today to go check out not just last week's amazing projects. If you missed them, oh my goodness, did you miss out? Because the projects last week on Crafting with My Ghouls were mind-blowingly good, and also diverse. But also check out this week's projects. So I'm listing all of their channels down below and their links to make it super easy. And this was just a way of recognizing everybody. We're hoping, of course, that we're going to see more collaborations in the months ahead. I know that Kathy's Favorite Things has hinted that she is about to have a collab starting, so watch for Kathy's notice, and I'm very, very excited for Kathy. This will be her first collab that she'll be hosting, I believe, and that's very exciting. And we want to support someone when they do their first collab. Again, very community-minded. Thank you, Kathy, for doing that. And I'm not going to say any more because it's Kathy's announcement to make, but it's super exciting news. I also want to share with you that I will be participating in Crafty Michelle's Alice in Wonderland collab. I've sort of been hinting about it over the last month, and I am so excited to be part of this project, y'all. So excited. I'm going to actually be using a lot of Crafty Michelle's digitals for that, and some other digitals that I have worked very hard to source. I'm going to try to bring you very innovative projects for that. I've already started them because some of these projects for me are a huge stretch outside of my comfort zone. That's because, as you know, whenever I do a Crafty Michelle collab, I try my best to really go somewhere different and to invest greatly. And this is no exception. I love Alice in Wonderland. I love partnering with Crafty Michelle. So I decided that I'm going to bring you something really different for this collab. Let's hope it all turns out, y'all. And if it doesn't, just like my box, I'm going to share it with you. So let's talk a second about this box today. So Crafty Michelle was not so happy with the project she made for this week's finale, which is so interesting because Tiffany Fox last week, who is part of Susan's Crafting with My Ghouls, said she wasn't thrilled with her altered frame. And y'all know I looked at this and went, really? Really? Well, Misty and Crafty Michelle helped a lot. So Misty helped me figure out that my problem is I didn't like the muddiness. I didn't know what else to call it. It does have a cosmic effect, and Soleil's right. That is something I was going for. And Soleil has also made a good suggestion that maybe it needed more of the white rather than less. But there was a muddiness to this, and I didn't know how to give language to it. And Misty did a great job giving language to what the problem was. And the other issue Crafty Michelle identified, which is when I began this, I wanted this to be flat, but after looking at it, Crafty Michelle said, you know, Elisha, part of the problem is it probably needs to be dimensional. And so, like Crafty Michelle, I'm redoing this week, y'all. I'm starting it over. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I have no problem showing you. So watch. So just like Crafty Michelle, I'm deconstructing it. And I'm going to start it over. And I'm showing you that live on here. Because I can salvage the pieces. And the way I just took it off. And that's the nice thing about these things, y'all. You can just start over. If you carefully, now I did use, like Michelle, this is where it got a little tricky. I also used gel medium. And when you use gel medium and an EC6000 like product, you do have to do a bit of prying to get it off. but it's not the first time I've redone projects. As you all know, I prototype a lot before I make things, and so you see, I know how to take things off so I can reuse them. So I have one more piece to take off. Let me do that while I'm on here with you. I thought this would be helpful for newer crafters to see that, you know, if you don't like something like a box like this, you can just pry everything off. So all I have to do now is I have a little bit of paper that's uneven. All I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this down and start over. And I have all the pieces. I can paint over them. I'm going to cut them apart, paint over them, start over black, and rebuild this project. And that way I'm not frustrated. And that's what Crafty Michelle was talking about in her video today. So I wanted to show you how you do that. Don't laugh. This is also what I use for my sequins. This is actually an official marrowbone spoon and fork. My husband happens to love grilled marrowbone, so we have a set of these in the house, but I have stolen one for crafting. And that's because I find, see this little pick on the end is fantastic for when I want to redo something and I want to pry off metal pieces. It's fantastic, and this side I use when I do my sequins mixes. So there you have it, y'all. And now I can just repaint and start over once I sand this down. And that's how you deconstruct and start something over without losing the box. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's a quick little project share on how you deconstruct your project so that you can start it over. And like Crafty Michelle, I'm going to be redoing mine this week. All right, y'all, this is probably the longest video today, unless Lanny's packages takes longer, I don't know yet. And I'll be seeing you later on. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and creative Sunday. Bye for now.